Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. The deaths of these three guys directly contributed more than 2,000 mana and 1,000 mineral resources to Lin You, more than he imagined. To be able to accumulate so many resources at a time when everyone is in short supply, it is clear that many lords have already been attacked by them. It's a pity that, with bad luck, Lin You is cheaper. If they are still alive, it is estimated that their intestines will be regretted. It's not good for them to meet anyone, but they meet Lin You. Lin Yu's plant arms are either rare arms or royal blood, and have one more skill than ordinary arms. More importantly, Lingxi also has an aura that increases all plant attributes by 10%, which is much stronger than ordinary people. Resolving them can be regarded as killing harm for the people, doing a good deed, and even obtaining 3 fifth-order territorial essences for nothing. In addition to the 2 rewards from the previous leaderboard, it was just enough to upgrade to tier 6. Even iron ore has also met the upgrade requirements. Now there's only copper ore left. Lin You murmured to himself. The copper ore collected before was only more than 50 units. And it was more than a star and a half short of the 705 required for the upgrade. Even if he can continue to mine in the mining area, it will probably take a long time to get together. After all, the output is too low. And according to what Wu said before, the person who had reached the 6th rank had ascended a few days ago. Obviously, there was some way to get copper ore quickly. Is there a copper ore vein? Lin You couldn't help frowning. If there is such a thing, it can explain why that person can upgrade so quickly. Or if you are lucky, the territory is just randomly next to the copper mine, which is also possible. After all, with so many people, there will always be a few lucky enough to encounter such a thing. Fortunately, he now has the wood demon dragon, which makes it much easier to detect the terrain. As long as you look carefully, you might be able to find copper ore veins. Thinking of this, Lin You took the plants over the bodies of the 3 and continued to drive towards the depths of the wasteland. This time, Lin You specially avoided the mining area and had no plans to go there again. When passing near the mining area, he also detected the situation there through the wood demon dragon's investigation, and he was indeed in chaos. Large and small forces gathered in the mining area, and there were constant frictions, conflicts, and even direct fights. Bodies were everywhere, and the regional channels were a mess. Lin You opened it and glanced at it. All of them were scolding, and the scolding was very ugly, it was unsightly. However, he also saw some very useful news in these scoldings. Brothers, I found a strange underground cave in the west of the wasteland. There are many rock monsters in it, and it looks like there are some incredible treasures hidden in it. You mean the cave near the desert in the west? I've been to that one before. It's full of 5th-order monsters. There are so many entrances, so I can't get in at all. So many 5th-order monsters? Could it be a monster's lair? The monster's lair? Where is it? I'll go take a look too. Take it easy, the 5th-order monster's lair is likely to have 6th-order monsters in it. Do you want to die? Someone actually discovered a cave that was suspected to be a gathering place for 5th-order monsters. This was unexpected to Lin You, and immediately aroused his interest. After watching the regional channel for a while to understand the specific location of the cave, he immediately changed direction and rushed over there. Finally, under the guidance of the wood demon dragon, he soon came to the edge of an endless black desert. In the distance, a small group of people have been seen, gathered at the bottom of a huge sand dune, surrounding an underground cave made of rocks. The entrance to the cave is very large, and most of it is buried under the black sand. If you don't look carefully, it is really difficult to find. As soon as Lin You appeared, he immediately attracted everyone's attention, and they all looked at him and the plants around him with surprise. But immediately, a deafening roar suddenly came from the cave, and the entire desert edge shook. Damn it, this voice, shouldn't this be a 6th-order monster? One of them said in shock. I think it's very possible, after all, even the gatekeepers are 5th-order. I heard that there was a person who brought more than a dozen 5th-order troops in before, and then never came back. It is estimated that he died inside. Ah? So scary? While they were talking, they couldn't help but take a few steps back, for fear that innocent people would be harmed. They came here originally to see if there was any oil and water to fish, but now it seems that there is no chance. As for Lin You, standing on the edge, his expression gradually became suspicious, because he found that among the rocks that were shaken by the roar, many of them looked very similar to copper ore, and could even be said to be exactly the same. Could it be that? Is this cave actually a mine? Lin You glanced at the other people beside him, and found that they didn't seem to notice this, but put their eyes into the depths of the cave. Lin You guessed that this was probably because the mining area was occupied by major forces, and they had not had the chance to see the copper ore, so they turned a blind eye. Isn't that just a bargain for him? Without thinking too much, after the roar had passed, he let the wood demon dragon quietly fall, and then walked majestically towards the entrance of the cave with 25 fifth-order plants. This move immediately caused surprise on the faces of others. What does he want to do? Shouldn't he be going into the cave? There are sixth-order monsters in there, isn't he going to die? Brother, don't go in. There is danger in there. Come back quickly. You will die. But no matter how they shouted, Lin You didn't have any intention of stopping. Turning his head and smiling kindly at them, he plunged into the cave with the plant troops and gradually disappeared from sight. Yes, another one to die. Young people today, why don't you listen to persuasion? I think I have a lot of fifth-tier troops. What about him? Let him go if he wants to die, and let him understand the price of arrogance. Now we need one less lord in our area. As for whether Lin You can come back alive from the cave, these people don't have any hope at all, and even think that he will die in this trip. So more, just sighing at the fall of a lord, or gloating at the misfortune, laughing at Lin Yu's arrogance. The other side. Lin You, who entered the cave, quickly passed through the deep entrance and came to the cave full of rocks. Sure enough, as he expected, there really are copper ore in there, and there are quite a few. After walking only a few dozen meters away, he discovered several copper mines on the stone wall, and quickly collected them and stored them in his personal space. It surprised him very much. The interior of the cave is much larger than he expected, and there are many crystal-like rocks growing on the rock walls, which illuminate the entire mine, so there is no need to worry about not being able to see anything. While collecting or while advancing, several huge figures appeared at the end of his forward direction. Monster? Lin You stopped and looked at a group of rock monsters that appeared not far away. That body type is comparable to the fifth-order rock monsters he encountered before. Approaching the past carefully, the information of these rock monsters also appeared in his eyes. Name, Rift Guardian. Race, Elemental. Level 5. Strength, 190. Physique, 188. Agility, 77. Spirit, 125. Skills, Rock Bash, Throwing Stone. Introduction: The Guardian of the Land of Elements, condensed from the essence of the earth, is powerful. Sure enough, as the rumor said, the monsters here are all fifth order. Looking at the introduction on the monster information, Lin You was a little puzzled. If he remembered correctly, the Land of Elements should be the territory of the Elements system. Why is it called this name? It's so strange. However, these earthbreaking guardians should not be underestimated. Their attributes are similar to those of rock monsters, and they are all powerful types. Of course, the defect is also obvious, that is, the speed is very slow. This is probably because of the size of the body. Lin You counted, and there were a total of 10 rift guardians standing in front of him, and the inside of the cave was wide enough for his plants to use. After observing the surroundings for a while, he instructed the plants around him to spread out, quietly approaching the wandering earth rift guardians. The vines of the pink enchantress continued to travel under the cover of the rocks on the ground, and soon came to their feet. It's now. Attack! With Lin Yu's order, all the plants suddenly burst into flames, and the vines instantly wrapped around the body of the Rift Guardian. At the same time, the legal troops led by Lin You waved their staff, and countless wooden thorns rushed out from all directions, penetrating their bodies. The three wood demon dragons directly activated their swift shadow skills, turning into afterimages and attacking the three nearest monsters. Crack! In just one encounter, 8 Earth Ripper Guardians fell under their fierce attack and shattered into pieces of rubble. The remaining 2 broke free from the shackles of the vines, condensed a boulder in their hands, and threw them directly at the pink enchantress beside them. It can even attack from a distance. Fortunately, the 2 tree spirit leaders responded quickly and ran over to stand in front of the pink enchantress. With a loud bang, they were both shaken out by the boulder, but they didn't suffer much damage. As expected, it is the most fleshy unit under Lin Yu's hands, and it is not much worse than these rock monsters. And their injuries gradually recovered under the treatment of the wood demons. After a while, the 2 Rift Guardians were beaten to death by the plants, turning into a pile of rubble and scattered on the ground. Kill the 5th Order Rift Guardian and gain 48 magic energy. Kill the 5th Order Rift Guardian to gain 50 magic energy. Kill the 5th Order Rift Guardian to gain 46 magic energy. For a 5th Order beast, the magic energy obtained by killing it is around 50 points. These 10 Earthbreaking Guardians provided him with nearly 500 magical energy at once. Lin You estimated that the first wave of monsters alone was beyond the ability of ordinary lords to deal with them. Not only powerful, but also long-range skills. A little carelessness may overturn the car, or even destroy the group. If it wasn't for his spiritual tidal power, which increases the attributes of all plants by 10%, I'm afraid it wouldn't be too easy to deal with. And what he didn't know was, the movement just now reached the ears of those outside, and it also caused quite a commotion. Did you hear it? There seems to be the sound of fighting. It should be the 5th Order monster inside, and the fight started. Listening to this movement, I'm afraid there are quite a few. There was a lot of discussion among the crowd, all speculating about the conditions in the cave. But it didn't take long before the sound of battle in the cave stopped abruptly and disappeared. Strange, why did it go silent so quickly? Could it be that the battle is over? Could it be that he was killed by a monster? Probably. I think we'd better get out of here quickly. It would be bad if those monsters rushed out. While these people were talking, they hurriedly retreated, for fear that the monsters inside would rush out and hurt them. In a blink of an eye, most of the crowd had left. Only a small part is left to wait and see, but they dare not go in to find out. Inside the mine. After finishing the first batch of monsters, Lin You continued to move towards the depths. He stopped and went all the way, while killing monsters and collecting ores. He even collected more than 80 units of copper mines, which almost filled his personal space. Not to mention the magic energy, with more than 2,000 points, let his magic energy break through the 5,000 mark. Huh? What is that? Suddenly, Lin You let out a small yawn and found a corpse lying in the corner in front of him. Running over to take a closer look, it turned out to be a human body. And it seemed that he had just died not long ago. Although his body was shattered, his blood had not completely coagulated. Is it what those people said? Did you come in to explore the unreturned 5th Order Lord? Lin You never expected that he would encounter the bodies of other lords in such a place. To be able to enter such a deep position, this lord's strength is obviously not weak, but unfortunately he still failed to escape the fate of death and fell here. With a sigh, Lin You asked the plants to bring in the gravel, build a grave on top of the corpse, carve a tombstone out of the stone, and then stood quietly in front of the tombstone, feeling a lot of emotion. If possible, who would want to die in a foreign country? In your next life, get a good baby, and don't come to this world again. Lin You whispered to the tombstone, then turned to leave, and continued to move forward with the plants, speeding up a lot. The appearance of this corpse gave him a very important message. That is, the monsters here may regenerate. If this person can come to such a deep place, he must have already dealt with the monster at the entrance. But when it was his turn to come in, there were still monsters at the entrance. Obviously, those monsters would regenerate after death, and the regeneration cycle was not long. In order to avoid accidents, Lin You had to speed up and explore the rest of the mine. In the blink of an eye, half an hour passed. After killing the last Rift Guardian, www.mtnovel.com, Lin You finally came to the deepest part of the mine, in front of a huge underground cave. It's finally over. Lin You was delighted, and quickly stepped up to run to the cave, wanting to see what was inside. But when he came to the entrance of the cave and looked inside, he was shocked by the scene in front of him. Inside this exaggeratedly large cave, there is actually a ruin of a building that has never been seen before. In the center of the ruins, a rock monster with a height of 7 or 8 meters stood there, exuding an extremely terrifying power. A sixth-order monster. Lin You stepped back in shock, ready to escape at any time. But right away, he noticed something was wrong. I saw that at the chest of the rock monster, there were actually 2 huge chains passing through the chest, locking it tightly in the cave. What's the situation? Lin Yu's face was full of surprise. Approaching the past bravely, the information of the rock monster also appeared in his eyes. Name, Rift Earth Yuanzuan. Race, Elemental. Level 6. Strength, 400. Physique, 400. Agility, 220. Spirit, 315. Skills, Crushing Smash, Boulder Throwing. Introduction. Originally an ordinary earthbreaking guardian, he was trapped here for some reason. He absorbed the earth's spiritual veins for a long time and advanced to a more powerful earthbreaking Yuanzuan. Sure enough, it is a 6th-order monster. Lin Yu's pupils shrank. He now finally understands why there is a roar outside the mine. I'm afraid it's all caused by the 6th-order monster. Lin You stood outside the cave for a long time. After confirming that the 6th-order monster was controlled by the chains and could not move, he finally gathered up his courage and walked slowly into the cave. Roar. Sure enough, as soon as Rift Yuanzuan found him, he immediately let out a deafening roar and struggled frantically until the 2 chains rattled, and the entire cave shook violently. As expected of a 6th-order monster, it is indeed powerful. But soon, Yuanzun found that he couldn't attack Lin You. He suddenly picked up the boulder beside him and held it high above his head. Lin You, who was still on guard, suddenly changed his face. Hurry up. As soon as the order was given, the plants around him were already scattered, and even he quickly ducked to the side. The next second, there was a loud bang, and the boulder fell to the place where they were standing, smashing a terrifying deep pit, and the entire cave shook violently. The power is so strong that if you touch it at the 5th rank, you will be killed on the spot. It seems that it is impossible not to deal with this 6th-order monster first. Fortunately, this monster is being restrained now, so he can't exert his full strength, otherwise he really has nothing to do. Go on, use a long-range attack to get rid of it. Lin You hurriedly retreated to the side, away from the attack range of Yuanzun. And the wood demons and pink demons with long-range attack ability launched an attack on Rift Yuanzuan from far away. For a while, vines and thorns all over the ground erupted, attacking the violent Rift Yuanzun, tying its body tightly. The 2 bursting mushrooms were also unambiguous. They took a handful of mushrooms from their bodies and threw them at the feet of Yuanzuan, causing a series of violent explosions. Roar. Rippled Earth Yuanzuan was attacked by the enemy on both sides, and he struggled again in anger. Then he yanked his hands violently, directly tearing off the vines on his body. Even the thorns of Lingxi and the others were cut off. Fortunately, the wood demons also have healing skills, and immediately sprinkled a piece of fluorescent light to heal the vines of the pink enchantress. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the 3 wood demon dragons continued to harass the earth-shattering elements by taking advantage of their speed, buying them time. Rift Yuanzuan smashed the ground while roaring. The earth-shattering sound even spread outside, causing those outside to flee in terror and dare not stay near the entrance. And this news soon spread to the regional channel. Damn it! There are really 6th-order monsters in the western desert, it's really terrifying. I was also nearby just now, and the movement was so sudden, I thought there was an earthquake. You can hear the sound from far away. It must be that the Sixth Order has not run away. Is there really a Sixth Order monster? Isn't it about to rush out? It's very possible. It's better for everyone to stay away, and don't go there to die. Already on the way to escape. The movement made by Yuanzuan Rift is really terrifying. Where have these lords ever seen such a scene? They were so frightened that they ran away in a blink of an eye, and no one dared to approach the desert to the west. Some people who were afraid of Sixth Order monsters running out, even left the wasteland and rushed back to their own territory. There was also a lot of uproar in the regional channel. And this time, the deepest part of the mine. Lin You led the plants under his hands and was still engaged in a fierce tug-of-war with Rift Yuanzuan. In just a few minutes, he lost 6 arms around him, almost all of them were killed on the spot by the boulder thrown by Yuanzun, and he couldn't even catch up with the treatment. But Yuanzuan's situation is not much better. Being treated as a living target by so many plants, he has been battering, blowing up and chopping, the rock on his body has already cracked countless holes, and the roar has become weaker and weaker. Everyone works harder and you will win. Now Lin Yu's eyes are red. In order to deal with a trapped Sixth Order monster, he actually lost so many troops. You must know that these arms have been with him for a long time and have killed many Fifth Order monsters. The experience and attributes are not comparable to the newly recruited arms. Now that it's gone, it's no wonder he doesn't feel bad. While shouting, he directed the plants to attack, and at the same time stared at Yuanzuan's movements, for fear that it would smash rocks again. Fortunately, none of the things he feared happened. After another frantic attack for several minutes, the rock on Yuanzun's body was finally completely shattered, pierced by several vines and wooden thorns, and he fell to the ground with an unwilling roar. Congratulations, you successfully killed the Sixth Order Earth Rift Yuanzuan and gained 105 points of magic energy. Huh. It's finally resolved. Lin You breathed a sigh of relief and sat down on the ground. The magic energy obtained by killing a Sixth Order monster is twice that of a Fifth Order monster. Sure enough, it's still as stingy as ever. However, he was too lazy to complain, his whole body seemed to have lost his strength, and his tense expression also loosened. Wow! At this moment, Rift Yuanzuan's huge corpse shattered, turning into pieces of rubble scattered around, revealing what was locked inside by chains, a treasure chest made of rocks. Treasure chest. Lin You was shocked and stood up abruptly. It turned out that the 2 chains passed through Rift Yuanzuan's body to lock this treasure chest? Or, is this treasure chest the real reward after killing Rift Yuanzuan? But he didn't hear any hints? Lin You was shocked. Unexpectedly, there is such a thing hidden in the body of Rift Yuanzuan. And with the death of Yuanzuan Riftu, the 2 chains were also broken, and the blockade on the treasure chest was completely released. Lin You hesitated for a while. www.lightnovel.com still couldn't help walking towards the treasure chest and carefully observed the surroundings. This treasure chest is different from what has been seen before. It is made of very solid rock, and the pattern carvings on it are also very simple. Rather than being rewarded by the system, Lin You is more willing to believe that someone else did it. But who would make such a treasure chest specially, and hide it in such a secret and bizarre place? Shouldn't it be a trap? As soon as this idea appeared, Lin You was taken aback. I didn't dare to be careless, I immediately stepped aside and let the pink enchantress use the vine to open the treasure chest. Anyway, vines can be regenerated, so don't worry about being destroyed. Soon, a few vines wrapped around the rock treasure chest, and under Lin Yu's nervous and expectant gaze, he slowly opened it. There was no imaginary explosion, and no imaginary injection of poisonous needles. There was only a gray ball and a piece of yellowed paper, lying quietly inside the treasure chest. Paper? Lin Yu was stunned for a moment. How can there be paper in such a place? It stands to reason that they came across the border, so they shouldn't be able to bring other things with them. Unless they happened to be carrying paper with them at the time, it would be impossible to appear here. But unfortunately, there is such a piece of paper in front of him. And it seems that it is a little old, and it has already begun to yellow. Vaguely, you can still see handwriting on it, a bit like a letter. Surprised, Lin You gradually came to the treasure chest and took the piece of paper out of the treasure chest. At a glance, I saw the first sentence on the paper. Congratulations, stranger, when you read this letter, it means you are about to die, ? Lin Yu's face was full of question marks, and he almost cursed out loud. What the hell, it actually cursed him to death from the very beginning. Could it be that the curse letter failed? But gradually, he felt something was wrong. Because of his eyes, he was quickly attracted by the content on the paper. Congratulations, stranger, when you read this letter, it means you are about to die. I'm honored to tell you that the area you're in is one of the countless large areas that serve as a lord's farm. You must have a lot of doubts in your heart now, but I want to tell you that this is not the real primitive continent. Every new batch of lords will be randomly assigned to various regions and given resources to grow. After the strength reaches the 6th rank, they will automatically leave this region and go to the real primitive continent, which is where we often go. Said to leave the novice village. Stranger, although I don't know which world you are from, or how long time has passed, but since you can defeat the troops I left behind, it means that you already have a strength close to the 6th rank, but unfortunately, the passage to the primitive continent in this area has been blocked. Once it reaches the 6th level, it will be swallowed by the people who control this area and become the food for those people to advance. We have united to fight, but all failed. Those people are far more powerful than we imagined. In front of them, we are not even as good as ants. I want to dominate the world and stand on top of thousands of people, but I end up like this. I hate it. I hate the injustice of the sky. I hate myself for being weak. When you read this letter, it is estimated that I am dead, and you and I are considered to have the same disease, so I will give you one last piece of advice. There is only one way to escape from here, and that is to pass through the gray fog at the edge of the area. Go to other large areas. Remember, you only have one chance. After a month from the day of arrival, the gray fog will weaken for a period of time. At that time, it is also the thinnest time of the gray fog. Gather all the forces of the entire territory to pass through. Get a lifeline. If you succeed, remember to avenge us. Avenge our predecessors who died tragically on the road of fighting. After reading the contents of the letter, Lin You was shocked. He stood there dumbfounded, speechless for a long time, and his heart was already drowned by a storm. The area where he is. Is it actually a lord farm? After all lords reach the 6th rank, they will be swallowed up and become food for others to advance. This news, like a thunderbolt from the blue, hit him fiercely, making him unable to return to his senses for a long time. No wonder it suddenly disappears after reaching the 6th rank. It turned out to be the case. He finally fully understood now. All the 10 million people in this area are just a group of beasts that have been kept in captivity, to be slaughtered. It's just appalling. Lin You never thought that his unintentional act would break such a shocking secret. According to the description in the letter, 1 month after the Lord comes, the gray fog will weaken for a period of time. In other words, he only has a little more than half a month now. If he can't reach the strength to pass through the gray fog within this half-month, then there is only a dead end waiting for him. There is no second way to choose, but here comes the problem. According to what Luo Lei said before, those 5th-order gray fogs will die if they enter. What's more, his territory is still here. Even if he himself did successfully pass through the gray fog, his territory still couldn't be taken away. When the territory was destroyed, he could not escape death. Is there any other way? Lin You couldn't help looking at another thing in the box, a gray ball. He felt that since the person who left the letter was able to make such a precise layout, he must have taken into account these circumstances, otherwise, what's the point of saying so much? Surprised, he immediately picked up the gray ball and put it in his hand, and a message appeared in his eyes. Name, Pearl of Migration. Function, the core of the territory can be temporarily stored in it for the purpose of territory migration, and the level of breath can be hidden, and the magic tower can be made. Valid time, 5 days. Requirements: mana, territory level x 10,000, territory core x1. Sure enough. The person who left the letter was very thoughtful, and even thought about the territory. Moreover, this migration pearl also has a very powerful function, that is, the hidden level breath. In this way, Lin You can raise the territory to tier 6 before using this bead. After the core of the territory is taken in, his level aura will also be hidden, and it will not be easily detected by those people. After all, who would keep an eye on one of the swarms of ants? And this is also his only chance to escape from this area. Passing through the grey fog with the strength of the 6th order will definitely be much better. Invisibly, such a huge problem has been solved. The person who wrote this letter is really not simple. It's just a pity. Such an amazing and brilliant person would end up like this in the end. I am afraid that a lot of efforts have been made to make this migration pearl. I didn't expect it to be fulfilled in the end. www.lightnovel.com. If there is a chance in the future, this deep hatred will definitely be avenged. Even if the letter does not say, he will not easily let go of those who treat them like animals in captivity people. Thinking of this, Lin You couldn't help but take 2 steps back and looked around. Although most of the surrounding buildings are rotten, it can still be seen that this place was once the domain of that person. This also makes sense, why there is no reminder to destroy the gathering place of monsters, because this is not a gathering place for monsters at all. I don't know how many groups of people like them came to this world after this territory was destroyed, and then they were slaughtered one by one like lambs. Rest in peace, this revenge. I will avenge it for you. Lin You whispered to himself, bent down deeply, and bowed to the ruins, his eyes filled with determination. As if in response to his words. The treasure chest in front of him finally lost its support, turned into a piece of rubble, and fell down, which was considered to have completed its mission. Lin You fixedly looked around for a while, and then said to the 19 remaining plants, let's go back. After speaking, he turned around and walked out of the cave, hurriedly heading for the exit. It was a smooth journey. I didn't encounter any monsters again. When Lin You walked through the entrance of the cave and came outside, all the people around him had already disappeared, probably because he was scared away by the movement just now. But that's fine, in case someone finds out that he managed to get out of the cave. After identifying the direction, Lin You rushed back in the direction of the territory. And the sky gradually darkened, in a blink of an eye. The night passed. It has been 2 days since the last ranking reward was issued, and today is the 3rd day. According to the last experience, the reward should be given out at night, so Lin You is not too anxious. Get up and get out of bed, click on the leaderboard to take a look. First place, Tianga, Tier 5, Demon. Second place, Lin You, Tier 5, Plant Department. Third place, Bai Haitang, Tier 5, Angels. Fourth place, Dongfeng Hao, 5th Order, Humanoid System. 5th place, Yenwu, 5th rank, Elemental. Except for the 4th place in the top 5, they are all old faces, and Lin You is not surprised at all. Because now the vanguard troops have basically recruited the 5th Order arms, and the overall combat power is almost fixed, it is basically impossible to have a big improvement. Unless you get more powerful units, or level up your units to Tier 6. How easy is it to get to the 6th rank? That can only be done by killing a full 250 5th Order monsters, and he can't die in the middle. Even if it was Lingxi who was the first to advance to the 5th rank, with the experience bonus of the Ancient Tree of Knowledge and the accumulation of killing monsters in the past few days, it has only reached more than 150 points of experience. Name, Wood Demon Lingxi, Royal Family. Race, Plant. Level, Tier 5, 153/250. Strength, 170. Physique, 170. Agility, 205. Spirit, 228. Skills, Nature Control, Intermediate, Affinity Aura, Plant Thorns. Introduction. The royal family among plants has the ability to dominate other plant-based units and is proficient in natural magic. At this time, Lin Yu's attributes have been greatly improved because of the relationship between killing many monsters. But if you want to rise to the 6th rank, you have to kill at least 100 more 5th rank monsters. Even if you stay in the territory and enjoy the bonus of 1 experience per hour from the ancient knowledge tree, it will take 4 or 5 days to level up. Not to mention other troops with lower experience. Fortunately, Lin Yu still has half a month left. Such a long time is enough for him to raise all the arms to the 6th rank. As long as he himself does not rise to the 6th rank, he will not be detected by those people. When the gray fog weakens on the last day, you can immediately start action and escape from here. And what he needs to do most now is to collect resources and accumulate magical energy. The usage and consumption of Orb of Migration is calculated according to the territory level. A 6th order territory requires a full 60,000 magic energy, plus the need to upgrade to the 6th order. It is conceivable what a huge consumption this is. But no wonder. After all, the territory of the 6th order is very large, and if you want to move it away, it will naturally consume a lot of resources. It seems that you have to prepare in advance. Lin Yu muttered to himself, looking at the lively regional channel, and couldn't help sighing. If there is no accident, these people are destined to be buried in this world. Even if he wanted to help, there was nothing he could do. After all, he couldn't even guarantee that he would survive. A whole 10 million people. When he thought that so many people would end up trapped here, Lin Yu couldn't help trembling in his heart. Although he knew that these 10 million people were just a drop in the ocean for Wanjia, it still made him unable to calm down for a long time. This really answers that sentence. Heaven and earth are not benevolent, and they regard all things as cud dogs. Isn't that what they are facing now? Wait, one day, I will stand on this world and truly control my own destiny. At this moment, Lin Yu's heart changed completely. He is no longer the ignorant boy he used to be, and he is no longer a soft-hearted person, but a person who lives for his own destiny. Since you want to control your own life and death, preparation is inevitable. After storing the copper ore collected yesterday in the territory warehouse, Lin Yu left the territory with half of his troops and rushed to the direction of the rock mine. Before those people discovered the secret of the mine, they continued to collect copper mines. Here goes. It's a whole day. Due to the long distance, the monsters in the mine would regenerate every time they passed, so each trip would take a long time. However, after only 2 back and forth, the sky was getting dark, so Lin Yu had to stop collecting and hurried back to the territory. Store the ore you just collected in the warehouse. Lin Yu went directly to the open space and sat down, and started making a fire to make food, while watching the regional channel's movements. Soon it will be time for the ranking list to issue rewards, and the regional channel is obviously much more lively than during the day. Everyone is discussing the attribution of this reward, or guessing the ranking of a certain boss, and Lin Yu was also in the ranks of their discussions. Lin Yu just smiled and didn't take it seriously. He is still very confident in his own strength. 2 5th order royal blood plants, plus 10 newly recruited rare arms, the wood demon dragon, are all powerful arms with 3 skills. It is not easy to surpass such a luxurious lineup. Sure enough, when the time came, a reminder sounded in his mind. Congratulations, you won the 2nd place in the regional rankings, rewarded with 5,000 points of magic energy, and the essence of the 5th order territory X2, still in 2nd place. Now Lin Yu is almost certain that this 1st place guy has tier 6 troops around him. Otherwise, it is impossible to always be the first. The horror of 6th order monsters, www.lightnovel.com. He has experienced it personally, and he almost didn't let him be destroyed. The 6th tier arms are naturally not that weak. As long as there is one, he can top 10 5th order, or even 20 5th order, which cannot be used for comparison at all. But it's fine. Anyway, Lin Yu doesn't lack the essence of the territory now. All he wants is the magic energy reward. The top 3 magic energy are all the same, so it doesn't make much difference to him. And after obtaining this ranking reward, his magical energy finally exceeded 10,000, and he was one step closer to 60,000. I simply ate something and watched the chat channel for a while. He got up and went back to the wooden house, ending the busy day completely. In a blink of an eye. 5 days passed. After several days of going back and forth and hard work, Lin You finally managed to collect enough resources to upgrade to Tier 6, all of which were stored in the territory warehouse. And today is the 20th day since he came to this world. In other words, he only has 10 days. But the good news is, early in the morning, he received news of Lingxi's advancement. Congratulations, the experience of Wooden Demon Lingxi has reached full value, and you have successfully advanced to the 6th rank. Hearing this prompt, Lin You immediately got up and ran down the wooden house to the bottom of the territory. Sure enough, she saw that Lingxi had been enveloped in a ray of light, and her body grew rapidly. After a while, he turned into a slightly larger elf with a green orb encrusted on the crown on his head and the staff in his hand. Even the little butterflies that were flying around had turned into 4, which looked very agile. Lin You hurried forward, and Lingxi's advanced attributes also came into his eyes. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. Name, Wood Spirit Lingxi, Royal Family. Race, Plant. Level 6, 0/500. Strength, 360. Physique, 360. Agility, 400. Spirit, 425. Skills, Nature Control, Intermediate, Affinity Aura, Plant Thorns. Introduction. The royal family among plants has the ability to dominate other plant-based units and is proficient in natural magic. 6th Order Lingxi, the attributes skyrocketed directly. Even surpassed the Rift Yuanzuan I encountered before. With its current strength, if it encounters Rift Yuanzuan again, it can definitely be killed easily. This is the huge gap brought about by levels. Especially the further back you go, the gap between levels becomes larger and even multiplied, but you can't win by relying on numbers like low-level ones. And at the moment Lingxi successfully reached the 6th rank, a voice suddenly sounded in Lin Yu's mind. Congratulations, the regional ranking has improved, current ranking, 1st place. The 1st. Lin You came back to his senses in surprise. He quickly clicked on the regional ranking list and took a look, and found that his name really appeared at the top. 1st place, Lin You, Tier 5, Plant Department. 2nd place, Yin Tianga, Tier 5, Demon. 3rd place, Bai Haitang, Tier 5, Angels. 4th place, Dongfeng Hao, 5th Order, Humanoid System. 5th place, Yenwu, 5th rank, Elemental. Unexpectedly, after Lingxi reached the 6th rank, his comprehensive combat power surpassed that of Yin Tianga, and he successfully won the 1st place in the rankings. That being said, his previous guess was indeed correct. This Yin Tianga obviously has a 6th Order unit. And when Lin You was checking the rankings, other lords also noticed the changes in rankings. Look, that Lin You rushed to the 1st place. What? Is he number 1? Damn it, Yin Tianga was surpassed by him. The myth of Yin Tianga's invincibility has come to an end. What did he do? Why did he suddenly rush to the 1st place? As expected of the big boss Lin You, it's really relieved to directly step on the 2 powerful forces of angels and demons. The 1st person in the plant department. In just a few minutes, the news that Lin You won the 1st place caused a great sensation in the regional channel. The lords exclaimed again and again, but they didn't expect that someone could end Yin Tianga's consecutive championship, and it was a unit other than a few powerful factions. This is also the 1st person other than Yin Tianga to top the list. You can imagine how shocked they were in their hearts. Area Edge. Near the lava in an underground cave. A young man with a handsome face stood in a hall of blood, looking at the list in front of him. Tier 6 arms. It seems that it will take a while for this person to do it. There was a bit of solemnity in the young man's eyes. And beside him stood a huge demon, a 6th Order soldier, a double-winged dark demon. With this demon present, the identity of the youth is also revealed. It is the demon lord who has always occupied the first place on the list, Yin Tianga. Originally, Yin Tianga didn't put anyone in his eyes. But he never expected that the ranking he had been proud of would be overtaken by others, and he was also a lord of the plant system. In terms of vitality, the demon system may not be as good as the plant system, but when it comes to destructive power, the demon type is definitely the most powerful of all the arms, and no one can surpass it. Not even the angel type. But even with such a powerful unit, it was still surpassed. One can imagine how complicated this plant system is. Yin Tianga thought about it for a while, then closed the list, clicked on the private message interface, and sent a message to an ID signed by Hai Tang. Hai Tang, what do you think of this Lin You? Do you want to invite him to join our plan? After a while, the other side immediately came back with a message. Whatever, as long as it doesn't affect the plan, and don't call me Hai Tang, I'm not familiar with it. Alright then, I'll contact him later to have a look. Yin Tianga seemed to have long been accustomed to the other party's cold tone and didn't care. After thinking for a while, he clicked on Lin Yu's name on the list and sent him a message. Lin You, who was far on the other side, soon received this news. When he opened the interface and saw the message signature, he couldn't help but look startled. Yin Tianga? How could he send me a message? Lin You was full of doubts, he didn't seem to have any interaction with this guy. Is it because he stole the first place and sent a message in anger to give him harsh words or something? Doubtfully, he clicked on the message. The next second, he was stunned by the content above. The road to the original continent has been blocked. Are you interested in breaking through the blockade and escaping from here? A simple sentence, but it made Lin Yu's pupils suddenly shrink. This Yin Tianga actually knew about the area blockade. Could it be that besides him, other people know this secret? Shocked, he immediately replied to a message from the past. You also know about the regional blockade? Okay. On the other side, Yin Tianga, who saw Lin Yu's news, was also stunned, with surprise in his eyes. But right away, he suddenly laughed. The person who can surpass him and get the first place is really not a simple person, he even knows such a secret thing. But that's fine, it saves him a lot of time explaining things. He replied directly, since you know about this, then I won't explain it, we have me and by Hai Tang now. Are you interested in walking through the grey fog together? It's good to have someone to take care of. Bai Hai Tang is also there? Yes, but do you know how to get through the grey fog? Lin You asked back. You mean the Pearl of Migration? You have? I don't have it, but Bai Hai Tang has it. She got the blueprint of the magic tower. We are now collecting resources to make it. Do you even know the Pearl of Migration? Yin Tianga was obviously a little surprised. In response, Lin You smiled and said, not only do I know, I have one in my hand now, but since you can make migration beads, can you help me make another one? I want to call another friend over. Who? Yanwu. Yes, but you can produce the materials yourself, and the material list will be sent to you later. Okay. Speaking of this, the news stopped. Neither of them said another word. Looking at the news that stayed in front of him, Yin Tianga was extremely surprised. In his original expectation, Lin You should at most only know about the blockade of this area, but not how to leave. In this way, he can take the initiative. But he didn't expect that Lin You not only knew how to leave, but even the most crucial thing, the Pearl of Migration. This surprised him a bit. Telling this news to Bai Hai Tang also aroused Bai Hai Tang's surprise. As for doing one more transfer pearl, she agreed very readily. After all, one more person means more strength, not to mention 2 top 5 people on the list. The next thing to do is to collect resources and start an escape plan. The other side. After the plan was negotiated, Lin You immediately turned off the private chat message, clicked on Yanwu's name, and told Yanwu about the area blockade. As for why only Yanwu was invited, Lin You actually had his own considerations in it. Because he is very clear. Even the 6th order person in the previous mine had no way to escape from here. It is almost impossible for ordinary 5th order lords to pass through the grey fog. Among the people Lin You knew, Yanwu had the opportunity to reach the 6th rank in such a short period of time and collect enough 60,000 mana. As for the rest, Lin You believes that he is not a saint. He will not do things that put him in a dangerous situation in order to save people, and he will not be able to drag him by his side. He couldn't even take care of his own life, how could he have time to take care of others? What's more, taking other people through the gray fog may not be a good thing, and it may even harm them. It's better to stay in the area honestly, so that you can live longer, soon. Yanwu replied. Yanwu was extremely shocked by the closure of the area, and he couldn't even believe it. But he had no doubts about the authenticity of the news. After all, he had found some clues before. So after sorting out his mood, he immediately replied to Lin You, saying that he could join the plan and at the same time prepare his own resources. After chatting a few words of gratitude for details, he immediately interrupted the chat and went to collect resources. As for Lin You, it is to take the plants out of the territory, go everywhere to hunt monsters above the 5th rank, accumulate magical energy, and level up the plants by the way. After the 6th order Ling Si joined, his efficiency in killing 5th order monsters has also become much higher. Basically, he touches one to kill one, and touches a pair to kill another. The experience of mana and plants is also rising. Until afternoon, the experience of one of the little mushrooms finally reached the full value, and a long-lost reminder was greeted. Congratulations, you have reached the full value of exploding mushroom experience and successfully promoted to tier 6. A ray of light flashed. The little mushroom grew a little bigger, and even the mushroom cap on the top split into two, surrounded by countless red mushrooms. On those mushrooms, there are even thorny spherical spores. Name, twin mushroom. Race, plant. Level 6, 0/500. Strength, 100. Physique, 322. Agility, 322. Spirit, 405. Skills, Devour, Exploding Shrooms, Double Fission. The effect of explosive fission will trigger twice. Introduction, the advanced form of the exploding mushroom, the fission ability has been further strengthened, which can cause violent chain explosions. Although the overall attributes of the 6th order twin mushrooms are not as good as that of Ling Si, their spiritual attributes are very high, and they are even catching up with Ling Si. Lin You remembered that this attribute affects the effective skills, that is, the blasting ability of mushrooms. And after the advanced twin mushrooms, the blasting ability has been further strengthened, and the fission skill has become double fission, with stronger power and wider range. Based on this alone, it is estimated that not many people can stop the terrifying explosion of twin mushrooms. With this little mushroom stationed in the territory, he can finally explore farther places with peace of mind. Thinking of this, Lin You stopped looking for monsters and drove back towards the territory with the plants. At the same time, outside Lin Yu's territory, two figures suddenly appeared with a large group of troops. Look! There's a territory there. Huh? Really, I didn't expect this kind of place to have territory. The two who had just walked out of the forest soon discovered Lin Yu's territory, and they were all surprised. But immediately, greedy expressions and a hint of ruthlessness appeared on their faces. Let's go and have a look. If the Lord inside is not there, we will directly destroy the territory and grab his resources. Let's talk first, the resources will be divided into half. The two looked at each other and moved closer to Lin Yu's territory. At this moment, beside them, there is a mechanic Iron Man with a mechanical type, and a bull-headed axe soldier with a humanoid type. All of them are very powerful arms. And they are all 5th order, adding up to as many as 30. With such strength, I am afraid that ordinary 5th order lords will not be able to parry. It's no wonder that they were so unscrupulous. They directly set eyes on Lin Yu's territory, and wanted to destroy the territory and resources while he was away. After some probing, the two finally confirmed that there was no one in the territory, and they were even more surprised. That's great, there is no one in the territory, let's go in and destroy the core of his territory. The skinny young man said happily. but what about these vines? The other person looked at the huge vines that broke out of the ground next to him and hesitated. I always feel that these plants are weird. It's just a bunch of bigger plants, what's so weird? If you don't hurry up, the Lord here will come back. The emaciated youth urged. He didn't bother to pay any attention to him, and directly ordered his mechanic, Iron Man, to pass through those huge vines and walk into the vine forest. Because he had seen the location of the territory wall just now, not far from them. As long as you pass through the wall and destroy the core of the territory, aren't the resources in this territory within your grasp? When the man saw that he wanted to take resources for himself, he was in a hurry. After hesitating for a while, he finally turned ruthless and ordered his bull-headed axemen to follow. And the two of them are standing outside and directing the operations of their troops. With that skilled appearance, I'm afraid it's not the first time to do this kind of stealing home. It's just that they didn't notice. Not long after their troops penetrated deep, a light pink mist suddenly spread in the vine forest, and more, they enveloped their troops in a blink of an eye, and even blocked their sight. Not good. There is an ambush. Come back soon. The two who had reacted immediately turned pale with shock, and hurriedly ordered the troops to withdraw, and at the same time hurriedly retreated, trying to avoid the range of the poisonous fog. But the next second, countless huge vines suddenly rose into the sky behind them, completely blocking their back path in a burst of dust. Fuck. We've been tricked, let's get out. At this moment, the two of them couldn't care less, and ran out of the vine forest just like their lives. But before they could run out a few steps, countless tiny vines were already clinging to the ground and surrounded them from all directions. And their troops were all one by one, dragged into the poisonous mist, screaming, and the sound of mechanical shattering. It was actually impossible to even resist. The two of them were pale. I can't understand why there is such a terrifying territory in this world. I only know that I cover my nose and frantically avoid the vines and run back, trying to escape from here. However, as soon as he arrived at the edge of the vine forest, the emaciated young man heard a scream coming from his side. His companion was actually entangled by several vines and fell to the ground. No. Help me. Help me. I don't want to die yet. The man screamed and struggled desperately. However, there were more and more vines on his body, which directly tied his whole body into a zonzi and pulled him into the poisonous mist. The screams also stopped abruptly at this moment. In a terrifying scene, the thin young man was immediately turned pale with fright. With the only 4 remaining iron men, he desperately escaped, and he finally managed to escape the range of the vine forest. He didn't dare to look back, so he rolled and crawled into the forest next to him. He only regretted that his parents didn't give him more legs. At this time, the young man was extremely frightened. The tragic scene of his companion being dragged into the poisonous mist kept echoing in his mind, and even his feet began to tremble uncontrollably. If it wasn't for his fast running, and the mechanical units would not be affected by the poisonous fog, I'm afraid he would have ended up in the same way and died in that forest. He couldn't understand how such a place could have such a powerful territory. Even so powerful that he could not imagine it. Most importantly, he had never heard of it. Now, even if he were given 100 more courage, he would not dare to approach that place again. But at the same time, he felt very unwilling to lose so many troops. You must know that these are the 5th Order units that he recruited from his hard-earned magic energy, and he lost most of them at once, which is undoubtedly a devastating blow to him. Humph. I can't deal with you, can't others? Wait, I want everyone to know the location of your territory. The young man snorted coldly, the fear on his face dissipated, and his expression gradually became gloomy. Then he increased his speed and hurried back towards his territory. But didn't notice. At this moment, above his head, there was a figure flying in the air, closely following his trail. This is the wood demon dragon in Lin Yu's territory. In fact, when the territory was invaded, Lin You on the other side received an invasion notification. Lin You was still very confident in the defensibility of his territory, so after sensing that an enemy had escaped through his spiritual connection, he asked the wood demon dragon stationed in the territory to follow him. And he himself quickly returned to the territory, and immediately saw a pile of corpses in the vine forest. Humph! You dare to attack my territory, do you think you can escape? The other party obviously wanted to destroy his territory and the resources in his territory while he was away. For such a person who threatens his life, Lin You naturally cannot easily let go. What's more, since that guy knew his territory, he couldn't stay, so as to avoid endless troubles. Go, let's follow. With an order, Lin You directly followed up with the 25 arms around him. With the wood demon dragon scouting ahead, there is no need to worry about losing it. Going deep into the mountains and forests, follow the spiritual connection from the wood demon dragon all the way. In less than an hour, he brought his troops to the entrance of an underground cave, and the wood demon dragon who was in charge of following it was parked above the entrance. Is it here? Lin You was a little surprised. He didn't expect the other party's territory to be in such a secret place. No wonder he had explored this forest several times before and found nothing. Without any hesitation, he directly led the plants into the cave. Wang Liang, who had just escaped, did not know that the danger had come. As soon as he returned to the territory, he walked into the Lord's fortress and sat down on the chair. His face was filled with happiness, resentment. After calming down, he immediately turned on the regional channel, preparing to completely reveal the location of Lin Yu's territory to vent his hatred. Unexpectedly. At this time, there was a sudden boom outside, which caused the whole ground to vibrate violently. What's the matter? What happened? Wang Liang stood up abruptly and hurried outside the fortress. At a glance, I saw a blasted hole in the boundary wall of the territory, and a large group of plants outside the territory. When he saw Lin You standing among the plants, he was shocked. Who are you? Why are you attacking my territory? My own territory is so secret that it will be discovered. The young man suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart. Haha, you just attacked my territory, did you forget it so soon? Lin You said coldly. When Wang Liang heard this, his pupils suddenly tightened. It's you. You, how did you know that my territory is here? Wang Liang panicked instantly. He never imagined that the owner of that territory would come to him so quickly. Recalling the terrifying scene he encountered before, his feet suddenly softened and he almost fell to the ground. But immediately, he reacted and hurriedly yelled at the Iron Man who was stationed in the territory. Quick! Stop him! Don't let him rush in! While shouting, he ran into the Lord's fortress. And more than a dozen Iron Man organs in his territory also swarmed up and surrounded Lin You through the gap in the wall. But before they could take a few steps, a large handful of mushrooms had already landed at their feet. Boom boom boom. A series of deafening explosions shook the entire cave, and even many cracks appeared on the ground. Not to mention those Iron Men, who were directly bombed to pieces, unable to withstand the explosive attack of the sixth-order twin mushrooms. Hearing the death reminder of the troops in his mind. Originally, Wang Liang, who was still trying his best to protect the core of the territory, suddenly trembled, and panic was written all over his face. Immediately afterwards, Lin You brought the plant army to the Lord's fortress, and stared coldly at Wang Liang through the door, and a huge mechanical gear behind him. That is the core of the mechanical system territory. No. You can't kill me. You are committing a crime. Wang Liang stepped back in a panic, even said nothing. He had long forgotten how he wanted to put Lin You to death just now. For those who want to harm him, Lin You has no sympathy. He gestured to the twin mushrooms around him, and several red mushrooms were thrown in. Boom! The entire territory fortress shook violently, and was instantly blown to pieces. A powerful air wave, accompanied by Wang Liang's screams, swept the entire cave and spread out hundreds of meters away. At the same time, a reminder sounded in Lin Yu's mind. Kill the Fifth Order Lord, get magic energy 89, wood 250, stone 340, Fifth Order Lord Essence X1. The core of the Lord was destroyed, the Lord died, and the surrounding mechanical walls and buildings finally lost their support and turned into ruins. Looking at the resources obtained, Lin You couldn't help but sigh. No wonder this guy didn't recruit new troops just now. It turned out that there was only so much magic power. Shaking his head helplessly, he did not stay here for long and left the cave with the plants. The movement made just now obviously spread far away. In order not to cause extra trouble, it is better to leave here quickly, so as not to be seen by others. Soon, Lin You returned to the territory, and the sky gradually became dark. Going out today, the harvest is still very rich. Not only did the burst mushrooms successfully rise to the 6th rank, but even the magic energy accumulated to more than 30,000. There are still 9 days left until the 1-month period. He had to collect enough 60,000 magic energy in these 9 days. Thinking of this, Lin You couldn't help but feel a sense of urgency in his heart. Congratulations, the experience of the pink enchantress has reached the full value, and you have successfully advanced to the 6th rank. Congratulations, the Treant warrior's experience has reached the full value and successfully promoted to the 6th rank. Early in the morning, Lin You, who was sleeping soundly, was woken up by 2 reminders. After a night of accumulated experience, 2 more plants finally reached the 6th rank. Putting on the animal skin coat just made, Lin You hurriedly left the Lord's wooden house and went under the territory, and found that the 2 plants had already evolved and changed into a new form. Name, Blood Demon Girl. Race, Plant. Level 6, 0/500. Strength, 380. Physique, 385. Agility, 295. Spirit, 334. Skills, Protection of Plants, Poison Ivy Whip, Bloody Poison Mist. Introduction, the advanced form of the pink enchantress, the Vine Whip has the ability to blood, and can release the poisonous mist, infiltrating the enemy's body. It is a very slaughtering plant. Name, Dryad General. Race, Plant. Level 6, 0/500. Strength, 390. Physique, 390. Agility, 325. Spirit, 325. Skills, Protection of Plants, Savage Clash, Sweep thousands of armies. Introduction, the advanced form of the Dryad Warrior, the wood on the body surface is strengthened, the strength and defense are greatly improved, the attack is fast, and the charge is the most powerful vanguard of the Dryad family. The 6th Order Blood Demon Girl has many dark red barbs on the vines. One by one wandering in the air, it looked terrifying. Even the flower on the head of the main body has changed from pink to a delicate blood red, and at a glance, you can tell that it is not someone to mess with. As for the tree spirit generals, on the other hand, the size of the body has become much larger, and there are still pieces of hardwood on the surface of the body, which completely protect it. Especially the pair of arms that are thicker than the pillars, it is estimated that they can blow up a hurricane and blow the enemy into slag. It is really suitable for charging into battle. When the wood demons on the side met, they flapped their little wings and flew to the canopy above its head to play, as if to celebrate its successful advancement. Then he flew to Lin Yu's side again, and flew back and forth around him. Okay, you don't have to be envious, you should be able to advance in a short time. Lin Yu smiled and checked their information. The experience is basically more than 200, and you can reach the 6th rank in about 2 or 3 days. The 2 plants that just advanced are because they have been with him for a long time, killed a lot of 5th Order monsters, and helped him block a lot of attacks, so they advanced faster. Like the wood demon, it needs to attack and heal again, so the experience gain is naturally relatively slow. Check out their properties. Lin Yu went directly to the Tower of Arms to take a look. After several days of research, basically all the arms have been researched by him to the 2nd level and become recruitable. After arranging a new research task, he went to the territory warehouse to check the resource information. Through the collection of materials in the past few days, he has raised the territory warehouse to the 4th level, and the capacity has become much larger. It is not a problem to save tens of thousands of units of mineral resources. He clicked on the territory warehouse information, and rows of resource information also appeared in front of him. Magic energy, 37245. Stone, 6528. Iron ore, 960. Copper ore, 780. Essence of Tier 4 territory, 1. Essence of Tier 5 territory, 15. In addition to these things, there are many miscellaneous things. For example, clothes made of animal skins, various tools used in daily life, and daily necessities. And because he has been at the top of the ranking list for the past few days, he has accumulated a lot of 5th order territorial essence. Although he didn't know if there were any other uses, he still wasn't willing to throw away the excess. As for magical energy, it was naturally what he had accumulated during this period of time by hunting monsters, ranking rewards, and burning lotus flowers. It's still more than 20,000 points away. It seems that we need to work harder. Using the Orb of Migration and the magic energy needed to upgrade the territory is still very huge for Lin You. If you want to collect enough in these few days, you can't just rely on the lotus and the list rewards. You must continue to hunt monsters. Of course, it would be great if we could find a gathering place for 5th order monsters. Thinking of this, Lin You just clicked on the regional channel to check it out. After some searching, I actually found the news of the gathering place of monsters. Come on, brothers! I found a 5th order monster gathering place in the Scorched Wasteland. There seems to be a 6th order leader monster in it. I can't do it alone. What? A gathering place for 5th order monsters? Where is the exact location? I'll rush over now. Didn't you see that there are 6th order monsters? Do you want to go and die? But I heard that after the 5th order monsters are gathered and destroyed, there will be 5th order arms token rewards, as well as 5th order territorial essence. Damn it. The 5th order one? Where is it? I'm going too. Count me in. As soon as they heard that there was a 5th tier armor token reward, these lords were in a hurry, and quickly inquired about the specific location of the gathering place of monsters. Soon, the location was locked in a valley in the south of the Scorched Wasteland. After these few days of accumulation, the strength of many lords has also become much stronger, and they no longer dare to enter a 5th order mine like before. This is not. In just 3 or 2 sentences, many 5th order lords flocked there, and even called friends and friends, intending to work together to push down this monster gathering place. As for who the last arms token will fall into, it depends on each individual's ability. Originally, Lin You didn't really want to go, but seeing the description above said that the valley was huge, with at least hundreds of 5th order monsters, which made him a little moved. This is a lot more than the number of monsters in the copper mine before, and there is still a chance to get a weapon token. This is definitely a good opportunity to earn a lot of magic energy. Just do it. After confirming the location, Lin You immediately took Lingxi, the 2 6th order arms that had just advanced, and another 25th order arms, and left the territory mightily. 2 hours later, Lin You and the plants finally came to the entrance of a valley. Sure enough, as the news said, the valley is very large, and the entrance alone is several hundred meters wide. At this time outside the valley, many lords have gathered, and they are all inquiring about the situation in the valley. Lin You looked inside from a distance. Found that the valley is full of fences and caves, and tents made of rags. Many tall ogres walked around the fire, as if they were roasting the corpses of some animals, and there was a faint smell of blood in the air. This is actually a 5th order ogre tribe. Lin You is very clear that such a monster with simple wisdom must have some kind of leader, which is the 6th order monster in their mouth. The lords who came one after another seem to have discovered this as well. They all gathered on both sides of the entrance to the valley, and no one dared to enter rashly. And over time, more and more people gathered outside the valley, which made them more and more anxious. Because the more people there are, the less chance they have of getting the troop token, which is something they don't want to see. We can't wait any longer, let's go in. Finally, someone couldn't bear his temper and entered the valley with the troops around him. With the first opening, the rest of the people naturally couldn't sit still and followed suit. For a while, a dozen lords with a large group of troops rushed into the valley, shouting and killing one after another. When the ogres who were still eating meat found them, they also roared and stood up to call their companions. In a blink of an eye, countless ogres emerged from the cave and collided with the lord team. Boom! There was only a muffled sound, and a fifth-order beast unit that rushed in front was hit in the head by the big stick in the hand of the ogre, and it was smashed into meat mud in one fell swoop. And the troops on the lord's side were not to be outdone, and they directly knocked down several ogres in one face-to-face. Before the ogre could struggle to get up, he was immediately drowned by countless attacks and died tragically on the spot. Go! Kill all these ogres. The troop token is mine. Roar! The shouts of the lords, mixed with the roar of the ogres, constantly echoed in the valley, causing the entire valley to vibrate violently. More and more lords and troops joined the battle, and more ogres emerged in the valley, constantly waving the big sticks in their hands, and even pounced on them and bit them with their mouths. In just a moment, many troops fell under their attack and were torn to shreds and swallowed. The breath of flesh and blood deeply stimulated their nerves, turning their eyes red and bloodthirsty. Under their ferocious offensive, the lords gradually showed signs of weakness, making it difficult to resist. Damn it! These ogres are coming too fiercely. A few more people. The lords shouted anxiously, completely not expecting the ogre's offensive to be so powerful. Some even had the intention of retreating and gradually retreated. But at this time, dense vines suddenly appeared, rushing into the ogre tribe from both sides against the ground, entangling the ogres who were attacking frantically, restricting their movements. A few were even directly sucked up by the vines, turning into mummified corpses and falling to the ground softly. Hey! It's so strong, you can kill so many ogres at once. The lords widened their eyes in shock and looked at the root of the vine, which was Lin Yu's direction. They couldn't believe that such a ferocious fifth-order ogre could be killed so easily. It was absolutely impossible for them to do it. I didn't expect such a master to be hidden. And taking advantage of this opportunity, their troops also regained the upper hand. Under the control of Lin Yu's vines, ogres continued to fall under their attacks, gradually pushing the front line into the valley. Come on! Go in with all your might, kill! While shouting, the lords led their troops into the valley with excitement written on their faces. At the same time, more and more lords came and joined the battle, making the whole situation almost one-sided. Lin You stood behind the team with the plants, and kept killing those ogres who rushed up through sneak attacks. Kill the fifth-order ogre and gain 47 magic energy. Kill the fifth-order ogre and gain 51 magic energy. Kill the fifth-order ogre and gain 46 magic energy. In this world, the acquisition and distribution of magical energy is very simple and rude, and whoever kills the magical energy belongs to whom. This has resulted in a result: all the lords are desperately trying to grab the head, wanting to get more magic energy. Lin You is no exception. Basically, one shot is one shot. Few ogres can survive the attack of his plants. In less than half an hour, he obtained more than 3,000 magic energy points, which is not unpleasant. Gradually, the whole party advanced into the depths of the valley, where a huge cave was located. Before he could stand still, an angry roar came from inside, shaking the air in the entire valley wildly. A sixth-order monster. Definitely a sixth-order monster. Everyone be careful. The unusual aura shocked all the lords, and they all spoke out to remind them. Sure enough, just as their voices fell, a behemoth suddenly rushed out of the cave, bringing with it a strong aura. Lin You in the distance took a closer look. It turned out to be a two-headed ogre with a height of 5 meters. Name: Ogre Leader. Race: humanoid. Level: level 6. Strength: 420. Physique: 420. Agility: 325. Spirit: 400. Skills: Bloodthirsty Rage, Fire Control. Introduction: the leader of the ogre tribe, after drinking a lot of blood, he awakened the blood of the two-headed ogre, and obtained the ability to control flames. One of his heads has extremely high intelligence. What a powerful attribute. After reading the information about the ogre leader, Lin You was shocked. This ogre leader is not only powerful, but also has awakened the ability to control flames. Do not. It is more appropriate to call it a boss. Those lords didn't expect such a terrifying guy to come out. They suddenly exclaimed and couldn't help but step back. But the next second, a group of flames suddenly gathered in the hands of the ogre leader, illuminating the surroundings brightly. Not good. Rewind. The expressions of the lords changed greatly, and they hurriedly fled the attack range of the ogre leader. But there was still one lord who ran slowly and fell behind. Everyone didn't even react, and the huge flame had already drawn a scarlet trail in the air, attacking the lord. Boom. What dash? Only heard a shrill scream. The lord was instantly swallowed by a pillar of fire, his entire body was burnt to charcoal, he fell to the ground with a bang, and all his troops died violently. Just one hit, he instantly killed a fifth-order lord. The frightened other lords turned pale. Yu reading www.yuyukansha.com. What shocked them even more was that this ogre leader actually knew how to attack the key figure of the lord first. Obviously, he really had extremely high wisdom. Roar. The ogre leader roared wildly. Without giving the lords time to react, he jumped high with its mace and crashed into the open space, causing the ground to shake violently. Quick! Stop it. Don't let it rush out. Don't panic. We have a lot of troops. The lords shouted in a hurry, and they all gave orders to attack their troops. For a time, hundreds of fifth-order troops surrounded the ogre leader and launched a fierce attack on it, with endless collisions and explosions. Roar. But at this moment, the ogre leader's eyes suddenly turned red, he frantically swung the giant mace in his hand, and knocked out all the troops around him. Then the flame in his hand condensed, and it exploded in the place with the most dense arms, directly killing a large number of arms, leaving the encirclement instantly empty. A sixth-order monster is so terrifying. What shocked the lords even more was that, after eliminating the surrounding units, the crimson eyes of the ogre leader actually stared at them. With just one glance, the lords were so frightened that they turned pale, screaming and running around. How could they still be so magnificent? Lin You knew that it was time to take action. Immediately, he said to the 3 sixth-order troops around him, Lingxi, if you go to help, you two will go too. The voice fell, and the Dryad general standing at the forefront took the lead, launched a savage charge, and rumbled towards the ogre leader in the encirclement. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.